Hello, this is Tavnia Moon, and I am in Remypas Creative World. I decided that just in case something happens to Remypas, I wanted a video recording of some of the creative works I've done here. So I worked really hard a couple of years ago to make some rather large builds. So here we go. This is actually one of my small things. It's just a castle. And this is, it doesn't look the same as when I first made it, because this is PlotWorld, where all of the little plots were little squares and everything was little squares. Then there was a problem with Remypas, and it had to be kind of brought back from the dead. And when they did that, the new manager decided to change how mine were, kind of as a compliment to the fact that I'd done them such large pieces, like my dragon here. But he actually originally went on 3 plots, so he went under the pathway and back up into the water. And I really liked that effect, but I'm glad he still exists right now. And I'm making this recording in the hopes that I have some record of all of my efforts, because last year when Remypas closed down suddenly, it was really quite a shock. And I realized I had spent days upon days doing all of this. Every single one of my builds, I did not use World Edit, I didn't use copy, it was every single piece laid by myself. This tree here, again, was 4 plots before, although I kind of like that they made it into 1 this time. And I wanted to show the interior of the tree. And so my tree goes up and up and up. And I capped it. I originally was going to keep going, but I kind of got tired of building, and so I capped it with a nice pretty top. But it does have an interior. It's a hollow tree. So, oops, come on. I know I can do this. Down the ladder. Whee! I broke it into layers, and as each layer shifted and got smaller, they each got their own interior space. Ah, here we go. This one. Oh, that's it. Actually, I didn't separate them into layers. I didn't remember what I was going to do with this. So that takes me all the way to the bottom, I think, of my tree. No. Wow, see, I built this a year ago and now I can't even remember what I've done with it. There is more. Okay. I thought I separated it into different actual chunks. Yeah, it's a tall tree. I forgot how tall it was. That must have been where I'd stopped. Ooh, I want to show you this one. This one wasn't done by me. This was done by Green Glacier when she was using the Sun and Moon account. For a while, Sun and Moon account was a shared account. Anybody who watches our videos will have noticed that eventually we all each got our own name and our own account, except for Shiny Luna. She still uses the Sun and Moon account. So this was one built by Green Glacier. She built a big flower to go with my big tree. And let's see. This is basically it's a multiplayer world, so this boat one isn't mine. Let's see how they connected my tree to one huge plot when they rebuilt it. There's my fireflies. I wanted to make this an entire environment back when I was building it. I had a lot of time on my hands back then, I guess. I don't have as much time now, and I feel like I'm not as good of a builder as I used to be. Like I was out of practice. There's one of my favorites. It's my woodpecker. And there's my dragon from above. And let's see. And I actually did the total internal structure of these branches and everything. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of repetition, so I'm pretty sure I spent time like maybe watching a video while I laid down some of the things. Here's my garden spider. I was pretty proud of him. These are all not quite all to scale because I had to use the blocks. This is also all built before the 1.8 update when they had all of the extra different texture blocks and junk. So totally vanilla Minecraft build with the 1.7 level of blocks, which was a long time ago. And so that's my tree. He's my largest. It's my largest construction. And then the other major one was my dragon. Again, used to be 3 block spaces, and I kind of wish they hadn't changed that, though I like what they did with my tree. And I was trying to build a different style. I actually am much better at the gigantic, massive thing that you can't put into any actual game versus a castle. But I did do this. I started building this castle back when, for a while you'd have to prove yourself a worthy builder to be able to build on a different open creative on Remypas. And I wasn't sure I was going to get credit for different styles if all I built was gigantic, massive, like trees and dragons and things. So I started building this castle. And buildings to me, I'm better at them than I used to be, but really they don't inspire me like the gigantic, massive tree or dragon thing. Oh, so this was the sewer through it, and then there's a prison underneath, and I forgot you can't actually get to the prison through the sewer. So you have to go over the drawbridge. Portcullis is up here. There we go. And I didn't quite finish off this part, but I do have my passageways up to the tower. One of these will get me to the dungeons below, and that's about the best part of my castle, I think, is the dungeons. Mostly because it's detail work, and that's one of the things I can do. I could decorate the interior, and again, this was back in 1.8 before you had extra fancy stuff to do stuff with. We did have horses, because there's hay. So they have a place to rest, and they have a little bit of water, because we're not horrible human beings. Well, we are, but, you know, it's our castle, so. But we do want to keep our prisoners alive, so we give them water. And let's see, I had a guard station back here, so they can hang out, keep an eye on the prisoners. And I made sure each cell was a little bit different than the other ones. So, but again, building castles is not really my thing. And so but I do want a recording, mostly because it was a huge shock when Remypas closed. I think it was last summer. It was a big mess with 1.8 not coming out quite as quickly as it was promised. So we closed down our survival world and we're getting ready for it, and then it didn't happen, and it didn't happen, and it didn't happen. So by then Remy had been doing the world for about 3 years, and he got tired of it, and he was done, and the whole thing shut down overnight. I'm like, oh, I should go in and play on Remypas today, and I'm like, no, I'll go tomorrow, and then tomorrow never happened. It was horrible. So, oh, okay, here we go. More stuff that people I know built. This one here was built by Green Glacier again. And there we go. One of the first ones she built here, because that was back when we didn't have a Green Glacier account, but I had opened up rights to build, and Coinbash was still using the Sun and Moon account, and he didn't want to let her build on his plots, and it was very confusing and complicated, but I let her build on mine. And then I had to have one of the admins switch over the name once she got her account, when she started using the Sun and Moon. So this will be credited to the Sun and Moon if you ever visit here, but again, it's a Green Glacier one. Because once the Sun and Moon, once Coinbash got his account, then Green Glacier started using the Sun and Moon account to build on Remypas, and then she got her Green Glacier account, and so it's probably nothing very interesting to hear about. However, she built these, it's like to scale, not this little house, and again, back in before 1.8 existed. But her cookie and her cake are to scale to the real cookie and cake on Minecraft. This was one of my favorite first major builds, and it actually won an award on Remypas. I made a rocket ship. Again, much better at the giant Mondo thing that really doesn't fit into a landscape. So here's my observation area, so that you can safely watch the launch of the spacecraft, and you get a chance to have some cake, because cake is awesome. And let's see, safety fence, can't go in while it's blasting. It did, however, set up an interior to my rocket. Let's see. Where's my entryway? Do I have an entryway around here somewhere? Actually, depending on how thorough this is, I might have to do a second video just to get more detail, because I did a lot of detail on my work. I'm not slapdash. I put a lot of effort into making these things as good as I could at the time. Wait, how do I... Uh-oh. I don't know how to get in here. It should trigger. There. I forgot. I have builder rights. That should have triggered. It's not, so I have to change the door. But see, it's supposed to be a kind of like a craft where you're going to end up surviving for a while in space or landing somewhere. So we have a hydroponics area. Let's see. Oh, I made a bridge. Not very fancy. Hopefully it's all computer organized. Oh, access to my engine room. Woo! Yeah. And there was a sleeping area. And I do think I'm going to have to do more than one of these videos, even if it's just for me and no one else cares. Because it was so hard to spend... There we go, sleeping quarters. With access to... window access to the hydroponic area so that they could feel more cheerful while resting in their area, because plant life is important. And I'll fix that door later, but I want to leave it open at the moment. I'm at 11:47 of my video. We're still using a screencast-o-matic, so we're only getting 15 minutes. This is the other thing I did. A very poorly constructed moon, because I didn't really understand the idea of the curves. But I didn't want to start over, even though someone made, look, the perfect sun shape right next to mine, right? So instead I added craters and adapted after having done this piece by piece completely on my own. Alright, let's see if this will work. Otherwise I'm going to have to fix this next time. Airlock. So I actually have it set so that this should open, and it's not, so I'm going to kill it. And then I had it set so this would open. But that way you could let that one shut and then open the other one. But it's not working. So I'm destroying them because I have builder rights to my own stuff. Airlock. So see, it was supposed to let the air out. Now, tiny little habitat, right? Little computers, living on the moon, place to eat, and then this. Oops. I was supposed to open that, not destroy it. I'll have to fix this after the video. This is my interior. Inside the moon. Alright. There are actually ladders and things and a way to get back here without flying. I made everything accessible to someone just walking. But I think it's the first time we had well, except for the fact that you do have to fly up to the moon. But besides that, I did make it so that it was accessible. Okay, really quick, in case I decide not to do a second one of these or something catastrophic happens to Remypas. Let's see, this one is one of mine. It was my first build here. It's my barn. I was trying so hard for creative. It's really hard for me to make an interesting structure in a, just a plain building. The rocket ship and the serpent and the tree were my favorite builds here. Absolutely. So, you know, horse barn, house. I think I was trying to use all the space I had. So I built an underground exploration area. Ta-da! I built this caves, which basically just looks like caves. So, alright, and on that note, I do think I'm going to have to go. My recording is almost over. So get out of here so there's actually something slightly more interesting on my screen when I say goodbye. So, this is Tabney Moon signing off. Goodbye, and I might actually do another one of these because there are more builds I want to show. Thanks for watching.